As a long-time sewer and clothes upcycler, one of the greatest joys I get is when I find a garment that's suitable for make two garments out of one. Hi, I'm Bex. I run sewing classes, clothes upcycling and sustainability workshops here in Sydney. Today I'm continuing my How to Alter and Upcycle Clothes series. And in this video, I'm going to show you 3 projects where I've done just that, including this one, which I'll talk about a little later. So let's get started and let's keep great clothes out of landfill. The first project that I'm going to talk about is this dress. So it was given to me, it was actually a purchase that one of my friends made. They were very popular at a certain period of time. It's just an Anko Kmart dress, so part of that fast fashion machine. But it's quite nice fabric. But the reason why I've chosen this to show you today is because it's big. So it's too big for me. So I'm going to make 2 outfits out of this. Now what I'm going to do is try this dress on so you can see what it looks like now in its current format, and then I'll go away and I'll change it and then come back and show you what I've done. So here it is on. You can see that it's quite big for me, which is good. That's the point of this video, is that even if I were looking for an outfit or a dress to create a 2-for-1, I'd always go for a really large garment because it gives me more fabric to work with. It gives me more options to work with. So it's large, it's too long, it's too low. It has really good qualities about it in that it's got some cute little fluted sleeves. It's got a nice frill at the bottom. Importantly, it's got length. So I've got some ideas with this. I might go for a top and a skirt combination that I can wear as a cord, or I can wear independently with jeans or a different top. So again, it gives me many options, 2 for the price of 1. So at the back, there's really not much to show you. It's pretty much the same. It's got this, which I think which was in the original design to sort of bring it in and tie it. But even with that, it's still too roomy on me. You can see it's too low. I've actually put a singlet top underneath just to protect my modesty. So there's not really much else to say. I'll go away now and I'll transform this or upcycle it, alter it, whatever you want to call it. And I'll be back, so stay tuned. And here it is finished. So I'll explain what I did. You may remember it was just one big long dress. I cut it in the middle. I measured from where I wanted it to end to where I wanted the waist. I wanted it to be a little bit higher, so I actually sewed and inserted my own waistband. I just used scrap pieces of fabric that I had left over from another project in white, so I thought that matched really well. And then you may remember there was a tie that went from the side around and tied at the back. I actually just sewed that into the middle of the waistband. Really, it was to disguise where I'd had to join these pieces of fabric together, my scrap pieces of fabric to make this waistband. So when I'm upcycling clothes, I'm always having to adapt and adjust because nothing is perfect, because I don't buy anything new. So I'm always having to make adjustments. And then the top, I just hemmed that. You might remember it was quite big at the top, so I sewed a center seam just to bring in that bulk. And then I put in some buttons to try and make it look like it was intentional. Again, I didn't want just a big seam to appear down the front of the top. I didn't have to do anything with the sleeves. What I didn't realize was that there was a zip that ran down one side. I didn't even notice that it was an invisible zip. So surprisingly, I could use that. It was actually a coup to have that there, because what I could do, it was a side zip, was I turned the skirt around and now the zip is at the back. So I could utilize that zip, which allowed me then to make the skirt more form-fitting. Because when you're altering clothes, this isn't a stretchy fabric. It's a really quite a lovely, cool cotton. When you're making clothes, and particularly if you're tailoring them, you need to have a way to get in, put the garment on and off. Usually that's a zip, it might be buttons, it might even be a hook and eye, whatever that might be. You've got to be able to have a way to get in and out of a tailored garment. So the zip was actually a surprise that allowed me to then tailor this skirt further. So it allowed me to make it quite fitted at the top and then fluting out. I didn't have to hem the bottom. This was actually this little frill was at the bottom of the original dress, so that was great. I did have to take it in a little bit at the side because it was just a bit too wide. And then I added some darts in the front just to give it a little bit of shape and to take some of that bulk out. At the back, I just did a bar and hook at the back and just sewed some buttons there to make it again look like it was intentional. I made the waistband at the back a little bit longer so that if I put on a bit of weight or lose a bit of weight, I can just take that hook off and move it to take the garment in, to take the waistband in of the skirt or to take it out. That's always something I'm always thinking about. I don't want to have to discard a garment because it's too big or too small, or importantly, make it a big job to adjust it as my weight fluctuates, which happens all the time as a middle-aged woman, let's be honest. So then this can actually, the top can be worn out as well. So it can be tucked in or it can be worn out. So this also, again, going back to the purpose of this video being the 2-for-1, is that I now have a top and I now have a skirt. And I'll try on some different variations, put them up at the side of the video so you can see how versatile this is. Instead of being one dress, I now have 2 garments for the price of 1. So I hope this has given you some ideas, and on to the next project. Before we move on to the next project, if you enjoy videos like this and want more practical tips on altering and upcycling clothes, consider subscribing so my next video shows up automatically in your feed. All right, now on to project number 2. Now this is a top and a skirt. It was originally one big long dress. I bought it secondhand, I don't know how long ago, long time ago, but it still had a lot of life in it, but I wasn't wearing it in its current form. It was just a little bit too worky for me. So what I did was I literally cut it off in probably about the middle. It's actually got a zip. It always had a zip that runs from the top neckline, probably around to the top of the butt. And that meant that I could tailor and keep the tailoring of this top. Whilst it's still got some stretch, it doesn't have that much stretch to be able to get it on and off without that zip, particularly at the neckline. Another good thing that allowed me to do was not just keep the tailoring of the top, but add this collar. So I could add the collar because I can get in and out of this top through the zip at the back. So as I've said many times, if you've got a tight garment that you want to tailor, that even though this has give or that doesn't have any give, then having a zip, buttons, gives you that opening to get it over your neck or over your hips, the biggest part of your body. That gives you a lot of flexibility when tailoring a garment. So I was able to add the collar, as I said, and then I put on just this little button just to elevate it a little bit and, I don't know, give it something a little bit extra. Then because that made the top maybe probably a little bit too short. So I added the peplum. And may I say, a peplum hides a multitude of sins, and they're not hard to sew. So I'm pretty sure I did. I used scrap fabric to make this peplum, because with a peplum, you need a lot of length, but not a lot of width. So I was able to use scraps, and I can see that I've sewn bits and pieces together to form this peplum. And then it just gets sewn onto the bottom of the garment. Then with the skirt, all I did was an elastic waist. That's all. I just sewed a channel and then put some elastic through it. But the great thing about this outfit is I've got a pretty cool top and a really universal skirt, in that this skirt is super duper comfortable. It's black, goes with just about everything. And that's what I've tried to impart with you in this video, is look at that 2-for-1 option. So if you've got a garment that you're not wearing in its current form, can you turn it into a 2-for-1, or even just make a dress into a top, or a dress into a skirt, something like that, just to keep those clothes out of landfill in that circular economy and keep you wearing them in your wardrobe. So hopefully this gives you some inspiration. If you've got any questions, let me know in the comments below, and on to the next project. I'm based in Sydney, but if you can't attend one of my face-to-face workshops, I also run online sessions via Zoom with clients around the world. You get 1 hour one-on-one with me, where I give you personalized advice on how to alter or upcycle your chosen garments. So rummage through your wardrobe, even that bag of clothes that you've been meaning to donate, and book an online session with me. Go to secondlifeupcycling.com for info. I tell you, this project could not have been simpler as a 2-for-1 transformation. So this dress here, as you can see, is the same as my skirt. It was one really, really, really long dress. So this skirt, the fabric was actually on the bottom of this dress. So this was the top of the dress. And as you can see, I've pretty much retained everything. I did cut the straps off because I actually used the straps. You'll see in the photo, they were big bows. So there was a lot of fabric here with these straps. I could actually use that as the waistband of the skirt. So simple and so quick. So then I was able to cut down the straps because I didn't need the big bow at the top. This is done. This was done. Onto the skirt. So then the skirt, as I said, was the bottom of the dress. Now, because this is quite a fitted waist at the top, I did have to put a zip in the back. So I put a zip in the back because, as I've said many times in these videos, you have to have a way to get in and out of a garment when it's fitted. This has no stretch to it, so therefore I needed the zip in the back. So then I just did a hook and bar at the top of the new waistband, and this is done. This could not have been simpler. This is probably a 1 hour project, and now I have 2 really great garments for the price of one. And I remember I bought this secondhand. I remember exactly where I got it from, for $5. So excellent value for money. I hope that I've given you some inspiration. Go through your wardrobe and see what you've got, or when you're thrift shopping, just have a look at what might give you extra bang for your buck in a 2-for-1 upcycle. Thanks so much for watching. If you've got a dress or any other garment that you'd like some alteration or upcycling inspiration for, let me know in the comments and I'll add it to my list for future videos. And if you'd like me to make more videos like this, please throw me a thumbs up. It really helps and encourages me to create more content like this. Thanks. See you next time.